To be
introduced by a mutual friend at a party downtown. To be
wearing a mask of makeup and manners. To be caught masturbating in the shower. To be
questioning the basis of your entire world. To be
5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old. Shy. To hide behind long bangs and big glasses. To write the names of boys in your notebook over and over and over again.
To be treated like a slave in your own home.
My father used to look at the hands of girls to see if they were well groomed.
To have questions, but no one there to answer them or even listen.
Clean hands, clean hair, clean clothes.
My father was not going to listen to my questions that challenged our beliefs, our entire lifestyle, and him.
Can we just talk? Tonight, you want to talk.
My brothers, carbon copy clones of our father, were not interested in my questions.
Everything clean, to be impeccably dressed with perfect nails and perfect skin and your face put on.
Sometimes I would whisper words to my mother, just words, and she would take her right pointer finger and hold it up to her lips as if to say, "Be quiet, please be quiet."
Haven't we talked enough? Aren't we done talking?
I landed in America a proper girl. Proper girls learn the essential skills of a homemaker.
Proper girls
learn to cook,
learn to bake,
how to say
yes,
and only
yes
to their husbands.
To be at the end of your night in Washington Square Park. To point out that this is where Harry said goodbye to Sally after a long drive from Chicago. To feel her eyes burning a hole through your skin.
I study the checkered pattern the city lights paint on my wall every night. Columns of light, thin and pale, reaching from the middle of my wall up into the ceiling. On those nights, I cannot sleep. Those nights, my bed is empty. Those nights, you lay your clothed body next to mine. I study those lights religiously.
I sit down on a metal grate underneath the arch, and she sits down right next to me, our arms grazing, our skin barely touching, our legs sticking straight out.
You want to talk, fully clothed, on your side of the bed. Our bodies touching behind a wall of cotton, polyester, and denim.
I could have sat underneath that arch and talked to her for the rest of my life.
Fully clothed, you want to talk tonight.
If I could have worked up the courage to speak to you, imagine what I could have said.
She expects me to hold her veiled body and listen to the words falling out of her mouth and not want to plug them up with a kiss.
Why are you so proper? They ask me.
She swipes at my face when I kiss the nape of her neck.
You're so polite, my mother would love you, they say to me.
I was blind to what it meant to be a normal child.
I remember my grandfather tying a handkerchief around my shoulder so that I would learn to sit up straight at the dining room table.
No, she says to me.
I was living in a diorama of God's perfect world as constructed by my father.
Just listen, she says to me.
I was a horse running a race with blinders strapped around my head, and all I could see was my father and my church and the ring around my finger.
Go to sleep, she says to me.
In my dreams, the cutest boy in class would come up to me and tell me that I was beautiful.
I had satin pillowcases. Cotton pillowcases cause premature aging.
He would take me away to get married and build me a house, and we'd have lots of babies and always be happy.
I brushed my hair 100 times a night to make it grow and ate vegetables to make it shiny.
We'd grow old together, surrounded by grandchildren, and then one day we would die in our sleep, cradled in each other's arms.
I could never show how much work it took to be beautiful.
To take a pledge of abstinence when you were 13.
Don't go out, they say to me.
To dance with your father and have him put the promise around your finger.
Don't act out, they say to me.
Anything to keep you as property for a little while longer.
Don't swear, don't question, don't do anything to harm your reputation.
I would be my father's daughter until I became my husband's wife.
A parade of don'ts and directives.
The only variable was the he that would marry me.
I could have sat underneath that arch forever.
I used to say his name over and over and over again in the mirror.
But I didn't.
Stare at my lips, making his name.
This conversation had to end. She had to leave. We had to go home to our separate beds. You get a moment, just a moment. Mine lasted for about 4 minutes.
His name on my lips, and I imagine his lips on my lips.
We sat down underneath the arch, and then the man with the cello began to play. Start timing.
In class, I would write his name over and over and over again, pairing it with mine.
He plays a song that she knows, and he plays a song that I do not know.
Pages covered with his name and my name and a plus sign in between.
My hand on her hip, and it melts away. My hand on her neck, and it melts away.
And hearts surrounding us.
My lips on her lips.
I have seen her naked flesh under the New York City lights. We have melted together, our flesh becoming one. I have seen her inside
and out.
She'll kiss me and then say that she is single at a party with boys around.
The arch sinks into the ground.
She will let those boys' eyes wander up and down her body, letting them explore her, imagining what it would be like to traverse those curves. What it would be like to be me, though how would they know it?
The light's gone too.
She will kiss every inch of my body and let me taste her naked flesh.
The music begins to fade.
She will make me hold her veiled body and let me feel her warmth through the shroud and still expect me to be happy.
The pollution even disappears.
To be a couple.
All that's left is the stars.
To be a unit.
And slowly, one by one, they blink out too.
To be one body, one mind, melted together.
leaving nothing but you in my arms. 4 minutes.
Where would my husband be? Would he be in my Bible study? Would I end up in his arms at a contra dance? Would he walk right past me on a crowded street? I mean, would he know?
To land in America, a proper girl, and to leave us nothing but a shell.
Would he know that he is destined to marry me? Would his hand reach out and find mine? Would we know it when our skin touched and crackled and came to
A
life?
shell with a made-up face and clean nails and shiny hair.
I broke my promise long ago, escaped my father's world, and threw away the ring that once sat tightly around my finger.
A shell waiting to crack, filled with bottled-up anger and secret rebellion.
But still, I would sit up nights wondering where my soulmate might be if there ever was one.
Sex and rock and roll and body piercings and sex, all these things that make me improper, just waiting to spill out.
Will he be waiting across from me in the dentist office? Will he be sitting next to me on the bus to work? Will he be tiptoeing out of my bedroom after a one-night stand?
I sit with my parents, surrounded by relatives I love and who love me. Like Nora eats her macaroons, I sit and smoke my cigarettes.
And then one day, the notebook fell.
She will touch me and deny that she ever touched.
And the pages unfurled.
She loves me and she denies me.
And I saw his name written over
and over and over again.
When we would disappear into each other, it wouldn't matter. I would gladly lie next to your covered body if it meant that I might experience that again.
He saw his name scratched into every inch of every page.
I escaped to the shower.
His friends began to giggle and then guffaw. He looked so embarrassed and then so angry.
I'm naked and I pretend that my hands are your hands.
His hand grabbing my notebook.
You open the door.
His hand tossing it in the trash.
You stare at me.
Saying nothing.
Saying everything so that nothing is left. The entirety of our relationship played out in 4 minutes.
What? I ask, too bitterly. She leaves.
Gone with the rising of the morning sun.
Do you think that maybe he's still waiting? Sitting anxiously at his kitchen table, playing with the promise around his finger?